Most people think growth changes how you see people. But it's not growth by itself that does it. It's what happens when your perspective changes. When you're operating from ground level, you can't see clearly. Everything around you just feels normal. The routines, the habits, the conversations. It all feels like everyday life because you're inside it. But the moment your perspective rises, everything starts looking different. It's like going from ground level to bird's eye view. And from up there, you don't just see what people are doing. You see how often they're doing it, how long they've been doing it, and how comfortable they are staying there. I experienced this through gaming. There was a time me and my friends played video games every day, hours at a time. At minimal 4 hours, sometimes 8, sometimes 10 plus hours straight. At the time, it felt normal. It felt like bonding, like competition. It's just what we did. Then I heard a concept that shifted my awareness instantly. The idea was that gaming can create artificial success. You feel like you're winning. You feel dominant. You feel competitive. But none of it translates into your real life. You're leveling up digitally, but not progressing structurally. When I heard that, I stopped playing immediately. No slow transition. I just interrupted the pattern. And the moment I looked at it from above, my view changed instantly. I started noticing things I couldn't see before. Not just my pattern, theirs too. I realized we weren't playing casually. We were investing huge amounts of time into something that wasn't improving our real lives. Some of my friends were in tough financial situations, but still spending hours escaping into the game. Drinking, smoking. No urgency to change anything outside the screen. But here's where it became even clearer. I didn't just leave the activity, I tried to elevate it. I suggested streaming, turning the gaming into content. If we're already playing for hours, why not build something from it? Why not monetize it? Why not create from it? But that's when the higher view became crystal clear. Excuses started showing up. We don't have the setup. Maybe later. I don't feel like doing all that. No effort, no urgency, no follow-through. And that's when the realization hit me. They weren't just participating in the pattern. They were comfortable inside it. They didn't want it to evolve. They wanted it to stay escape. And that's when I understood something deeper. I didn't start seeing people differently because I changed. I started seeing differently when I looked from a wider view. And this doesn't just apply to gaming. It shows up everywhere. When you stop going out every weekend, you start noticing how often that's all your circle does. Different clubs, same nights, same routine. And from a higher view, you begin realizing how much bonding was built around nightlife alone. When you stop spending money, you start noticing how frequently money is the activity. Dinners, drinks, trips, impulse purchases. And you begin seeing how much connection was tied to consumption. When you stop complaining at work, you start noticing how repetitive the conversations are. Same frustrations, same venting, different day, and you realize nothing in the dialogue actually evolves. When you stop drinking or smoking, you start noticing how much bonding happens around escapism. How often relief replaces resolution. You couldn't see these patterns from ground level because you were participating in them. But once your perspective rose, you started observing instead of engaging. And observation exposes repetition. And once you see the patterns, you can't unsee them. And once you can't unsee them, you stop reinforcing them. Maybe after this video, you'll start noticing things in your own circle. Not from judgment, from awareness. You'll notice the friend who complains about life constantly, but never makes any real changes, and instead of complaining with them, you'll start going against the complaint, offering solutions, or removing yourself from the conversation completely. You'll notice the friend who's always going out, always spending, but then borrowing money later. And instead of reinforcing the cycle, you'll stop funding the pattern. You'll notice the friend who always talks about what they're going to do, the goals, the plans. But months go by, and nothing moves, and you'll start recognizing the difference between conversation and commitment. You'll notice the environments built around escapism, the habits built around avoidance, the routines built around comfort. And the shift won't be loud. It'll be behavioral. You won't argue, you won't preach. You'll just stop reinforcing what you now see clearly. Because once awareness shows you the pattern, participation becomes a choice. And once you stop reinforcing certain patterns, something else starts happening naturally. You begin aligning with people who operate in the direction you want to go. Not because you're searching for new circles, but because your behavior starts filtering your environment. You talk differently, so different conversations find you. You spend time differently, so different spaces open up. You focus differently, so different people feel familiar. It's not forced networking. It's alignment through movement. The same way you once bonded through shared habits, you now bond through shared direction. People who value discipline. People who respect structure. People who don't require you to shrink your focus to stay connected. And that's when you realize growth doesn't just separate you from certain environments. It introduces you to ones that match your direction. You're not judging people. You're just seeing patterns more clearly, and once you see them, you can't unsee them. When you're operating from ground level, everything feels normal. But the moment you see from a bird's eye view, you realize some patterns weren't progress. They were just shared comfort